going back into the same situation where we elevate the guy, okay? I'm gonna elevate him, and I'm gonna come through to a standard straight ashi, like so. We're gonna put his hands back down to that again. All right, now we're gonna come to an X guard, and we sit up. This time, when I pass off to the other side, and we're gonna create this dilemma between coming up to the X guard sweep and falling back into the backside 50-50. But this time we're gonna make a slight modification, okay? When I go to come up, okay, and now I feel he's coming back, okay, he's coming back towards me, right? What I'm gonna do is, instead of going back into a regular X guard before I do my outside read to the backside 50-50, what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna take my left foot and put it on top of his calf, like so, okay? Now, as he comes back towards me to stop the sweep, I put my foot here just as he did before. I rotate around, and now my right leg chops over the top. And now look where my left foot is, okay? It's right at the crook of his knee. Okay, now you have two choices here. You can take your right leg, take it out, and go into a cross ashi instead, okay? Or what you can do is you can take this left leg and you can drape it through, okay? We're gonna look at reasons for doing both, okay? So I go here. If I go and I take this leg and I drape it over the top, now when he goes to back step, it's not impossible, but it's slower. Yeah, go to back step, but it's slower. So as he does it, I have time to catch the heel. Just as before, we always wanna make sure we cover this outside to top for the finish. This situation here is pretty weak for the finish because you can push right here. Right? Okay, so let's start from the beginning. So we're entering into a standard ashi. Okay, we're bumping the man down to the mat, putting his hands on the mat, coming to an X guard, sitting up. Now we're making a transition to an X guard. We always want this leg on the top, okay? Because, so right here, this is not a very off-balance X guard. You can put his foot on the mat, a lot easier. Whereas his foot is on top of my shoulder. This is much more off-balancing. When he goes to put his foot on the mat, it's a much more difficult thing to do because it's on top of my shoulder, right? Now, I go up, I'm coming up to my feet to threaten this sweep, okay? Now, when I feel strong resistance coming back, I step on top of his calf. Now, I connect my hands. This foot is gonna meet his armpit and shoulder, like come towards me. And I'm gonna push to bring my head behind. Now, my right leg comes over the top. Okay, if his leg is really far away from me, like I don't really feel like I can get this leg too far over, I would go to the cross ashi instead, okay? But if I'm in a situation where maybe it's a little bit closer, it's a little closer, yeah, then you can go to this. Now here, the goal of this is to stop a strong backside. Okay, now I can take this leg, pass it off to the top side, and catch the heel, because now his back step is gonna be slower. So as he back steps, you have time to catch the heel, and you can go to your outside and top. Okay, let's go back. Now, if we are gonna make the transition to the cross ashi, let's keep in mind that the cross ashi is not super well suited for putting pressure to the back of his knee here, so you're probably not going to be able to expose his heel. Right, as he back steps and I pass the other side, he's usually winning in a race. But now I'm in a situation, I can come forward and I can grab this leg and I can control it. Okay? Once I've got this leg controlled, and we were talking about this before, it's very hard for him to stop me from getting on top. Okay, if I'm in an outside to top situation, this is a leg entanglement that's mostly well suited for exposing a heel. Okay? Like if I wanted to get on top here, this isn't really ideal for that. Okay? But to expose a heel, it's great. A cross ashi, by contrast, it's pretty hard to expose his heel, like hide your heel. If he's good at hiding his heel, I don't really have a ton of strong ways to stop that here, okay? But what I do have is if he's hiding his heel, it's so hard for him to stop that. I can come on top, and now I'm in a top cross ashi, and I can start to create problems for him here. And if this is a point scenario, you can just come up and start smarting, okay? So let's look at the whole thing again. So it all starts from an elevation. I elevate, okay? Now we're gonna come through to a standard straight ashi. My ankle lock grip on the left, with my left arm is pretty high towards the knee. Now I'm gonna bump forward. I come up into an X guard. I sit up, pass off to this X guard. All right, now, when I start threatening this sweep, he comes back towards me, I step on the calf, connect my hands, rotate my head behind him. Now I can either chop my leg over the top, or I can take my legs to the outside and form a good strong cross ashi. I'm doing this with the intent to, as he backsteps, right away catch this leg and control it. The main reason I would want to do this now is so that it's easier for me to come up into this situation here, the top cross ashi, which we looked at like the other day, the other seminar, okay? The great advantage of top cross ashi is that now I'm in a situation where I can create a dilemma between the threat of the heel hook and the pass, right? Or just getting on top, right? Hypothetically, you might stop the pass, but still feel the on top here, right? For him to stop me from getting on top in a cross ashi, what he would want to do is turn his hips this way, right? If he does this, turn your hips hard that way, yeah. It's hard for me to get up, right? Like, he's blocking it. Keep doing it. He's blocking it. What is he not blocking? Keep doing it. He's giving me a heel hook, right? There's no way in a cross ashi he can simultaneously hide his heel and stop me from getting on top, right? It's an either or choice. He has to pick one, okay? I think you should choose the option that doesn't make you submit, right? So if you do that, I am going to move towards your upper body. So you hide your heel. So when he hides his heel, how can he stop me from getting on top? All he would have are like try to use your hands around me, push me and stuff. It's so easy. He might succeed in stopping the pass, but he's not going to succeed in at least stopping the sweep. Okay, and now I just scored 2 points. Okay, so I just want you guys to see how like we can use this same movement to get both into an outside tenkaki for the break, or into cross ashi to. You could hypothetically get the break, but in cross ashi most of the time I'm using it to get on top. Does that make sense, guys?